Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Hope you have a mug of something with you because we've made it to the weekend. It's a beautiful day here in Dallas. Sun shining. We had a little bit of rain move through last night. It was kind of nice. But today is going to be a beautiful day and not as hot. I believe our high is supposed to be 75 today, so it's going to be gorgeous. And it's perfect because I have a full day of stuff that I'm taking care of around the house and some planning and work things that I've got to do. I was involved with a pretty big book launch this week. And so got that off the ground and it's rolling now. So still going on. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that. But welcome, welcome. If this is your first time to catch me here live, thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking a few moments of your time to stop for a second, stop scrolling, say good morning. So this is your first time to catch me here. My name is Ronnie Harden. I am an editor by trade. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm also a grandmama. I'm a writer. I'm a former honors English language arts, literature studies, and academic writing teacher. Friend, companion, writing coach, and above all, coffee lover and book reader. So if you are joining me here live, please pop in the comments if you can. Say good morning. Let me know where you're catching me live. It might be in the afternoon if you're overseas. So I'm going to say hi. Hello, Isabel. You're driving and listening. Well, thank you, Isabel. Thanks for being here, my friend. Good to see you here. Good morning, Bear. Good morning. Good morning, Stephanie. How are you on the YouTube? Girlfriend, thank you for being there to represent my YouTube people. I really appreciate it. Well, guys, great to have you here. How was your week? Was it full? Was it busy? Are you working? Doing school with your kids? How's all that going? I had a full week. I had a busy week. You know, if you look at our weeks, we have stories going on around us all the time. So hopefully you're getting inspired by some of the stories that you see, maybe to inspire you to create your own. So that's what I'm here to encourage you to do. So I like to share a little bit about our week that was, things that went on during the week, things that went on in my week, things that are going on in the world during this week, and some fun entertainment things. Because the Lord knows we miss, I mean, how many of you, how long has it been since you've been in a movie theater? You know, Michael and I used to go to the movies quite frequently. We did go see a movie. I'm trying to think of what the movie was that we went to go see. It's so hard because now to see a movie, you stream them at home. Going into the theater and seeing it on a really large screen is a different experience. So we all miss those times, and live music, stage plays, right? We miss all of that art. Good morning, Miss Mary. How are you doing? Hope you're feeling great this morning. Hope you're feeling good. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. Good to see you too, my friend. I love going through the book again, don't you? Great book that we're going through in my book club, but we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Okay, guys, so this week started off with me getting my shot. You miss doing things. Glad you got your first dose of vaccine already. Yes, so that's what I did this week. I got my first vaccine done. And I was pretty amazed at the way the city of Dallas, goodness, the pollen is also high here. And I missed my mouth. And you got to see it. You could even like rewind it and catch it on the replay. Yes, I just poured water down my front. Live TV. But yes, Fair Park in Dallas, they had a wonderful setup. You know, this is the state fairgrounds where this was held. And it was amazing. By the time I got off the free, and I was so concerned because of the traffic, my appointment was 9 o'clock. And I guess what I realized is they schedule people in that 9 o'clock hour. Because when you go on to register, I had to select times, and it was 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11. So they're doing them in the hour, and I guess they let so many people in an hourly slot, but it was unbelievable. They have all the traffic coming off the freeway going one way. It U-turns around. It goes into the parking lot a different way. And then depending on whether you're getting, I guess your QR codes that they have, it was unbelievable how quick I went through this. From the time I got off the freeway to the time I actually sat in line, got my vaccination, and sat in the little area that they have beyond the vaccination point where they make you sit, and they have people that are going past each of the cars. I mean, I think I got asked how I was doing 5 times in the span of 10 minutes because they want to make sure nobody's having a sudden reaction. And I was in and out of there, guys, in less than 50 minutes. Like on the time, there's one code written on my windshield with one thing, and that determined that it was your first shot and your QR code, and then had something else, just a code system that they're using to help move the people through. And then my time out was written on my windshield, 9:53, less than an hour. And it was, if you were following me on Instagram and you saw my stories, it was amazing how quickly they got people through, so orderly. I was thanking people from the gate, all the little people checking QR codes. They were laughing at me because I was just so grateful. And then when I got up there, the military personnel, the young men and women who are trained to administer these shots, I thanked them all profusely. They probably thought I was crazy. You're good. You're headed to work. Your eye is very red, but pain is minimal. Well, Miss Mary, I hope you're feeling better really soon. And I hope it clears up pretty soon too. Yeah, it was so easy. Yours at Walgreens went pretty quick and easy too. Listen, is it perfect? No. Is it free? Yes. Will it help us, ease back into our economy and do the things we need to do to get back in some kind of normal routine? Yes, of course. I mean, why is that such an issue? Oh, I'm so kind. Well, listen, Isabel, listen, after going through cancer treatment, the people who are trained to help take care of the patients, it's so important. And the fact that we are having something roll out that will be able to take care of large sections of the population at a time, it's not perfect. It's not like they're going to rain them down from heaven in helicopters and have us self-inject. But I mean, think of chicken pox, think of malaria, think of the vaccinations you have to get if you want to go do a mission trip in another country. You don't want to go into their country, God forbid, carrying any kind of things, or making sure your body is prepared for if you're going into a country where those diseases are a little more rampant because they don't have medical technology. And it's what do you do? So it's what our government is trying to do right now to help us combat this virus. And I, for one, going to do that. So got my shot. My arm was a little sore. I told my daughter, I said, the first day, it was like I felt like a cold was coming on, but not really. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that was the only way that I could describe that. So I didn't feel bad. I just felt kind of weird. And then my arm was sore because, again, they're giving you an injection in your muscle. I've learned this from the differences between things going in my vein to why they put a port in to injections in your arm and your muscle. It's all different. So your arm is going to be sore for like a couple of days. And when I say sore, I mean going to reach for things with that arm, going to lift your arm, going to don't do any of that for the first day or so. Your arm's going to be sore, right? But other than that, it's fairly easy. Hey, Julianne. Hi, sweetie. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Good to see everybody here. Yeah, Savannah, thank you. So Savannah is my little co-pilot, if you will, my little co-admin in my book club group. And thank you, honey, for moderating the comments and saying hi to folks when I don't see them. because they're coming in so differently because I'm live streaming to different platforms. But anyway, all of that to say, got my shot. I'm looking forward to getting my second one because we are going to be going on vacation with family. And I want to be able to see my grandson soon. You know, he's just a baby. I don't want to compromise him or put them in danger. She works at home. And so that's got to be a protected thing. So parents that have little ones, I want to protect myself from that as well. So get your shot. Get your shot. It's not a big deal, guys. No one is trying to indoctrinate you. And if you are so fearful of this shot that it knocks God off the throne, I question your stillness and your grounding in your faith. That's all. All right, enough of that. Let me tell you what went on this week in my life because it's kind of ironically funny. Yet I enjoyed it. So this has been a huge sportsing week. I mean, so much sports. And funny enough, that I actually that I watched. One, I actually went to the game. And others that I've been sort of familiar with now enough to know. And of course, with the help of my sweet and loving husband, Michael, who kindly and gently guides me along all things sports. I actually enjoyed it. We had fun at our basketball game the other night. And he even turned to me and he said, "Turned into a basketball fan, babe." I said, "Well, it's always better when you can see it live. It's always better." So let's kind of recap. So first of all, it was the college games, right? The NCAA, whatever big tournament. Is it the Final Four or the Final Eight or whatever it was? The one with the brackets and you pick the teams. So Gonzaga versus Baylor. Holy cow. So I watched the last games. The one that Gonzaga played was at UCLA, and they just dominated in that game. And then when they came and played against Baylor, oh, good grief. What happened? Was that the same team? Were those even the same guys that played? Now, of course, this is me in my naive sportsing abilities. However, if you watched the game or you're a Baylor fan or you are, hey, sweet friend, thanks for being here. Love you so much. Guys, Ronnie Rock, great writer, author of the book, One Woman. Where is my book, Ronnie? One Woman Can Make a Difference. Yes, I was going to say, I know that title. But so glad to have you here, my friend. Things have to be easy peasy or you're not into it. Yep. Good. Well, I'm guessing Sam's Club is also giving shots. Great to know. Listen. Okay, so Baylor and Gonzaga. Let's get back to the game. Baylor and Gonzaga. Baylor. Wow. The boys on that team, they're big. They are tall. They looked some of the plays that they ran to get the ball through the guys to the hoop. Oh my goodness. I can see why. And Michael said, clearly Baylor was the better team. So congratulations to the Baylor team. What are they? I don't even know what they're called. What's the Baylor? Is it the Baylor Bears? Baylor Bruins, Baylor something. Anyway, congratulations, Baylor. And congratulations to Gonzaga for making it to the finals. Good grief. These were the top two teams. Both teams were equally good. It's just Gonzaga kind of fell apart. I don't know what happened. Anyway, well, guys, then Michael and I went to the Dallas Mavericks Milwaukee Bucks game. And there's a guy on the other team, the Bucks team. He is a Black Greek player. So he's a Greek player born to Nigerian parents. And his name is Tetamonkopo or something. I mean, the name is really it arcs on the back of the jersey because it's so long. But he is 6'11". And Dallas has a player, Kristaps Porzingis, who's on our team, who's 7'3". He is 7'3". Let me just tell you, watching a live game with these guys, realizing how tall they are and how they look from where we were sitting, it was like, holy cow. That would be would be 1.5 of me or almost 2 of me for this guy. But they were amazing to watch. They were amazing to watch. And I heard that the Bucks is a really good team. So, but the Mavericks, man, right in the end, we have a guy on our team named Luka Doncic. He's only 22 years old. When I found that out, I almost cried because I was like, oh, he's a baby. My gosh, he's not really a baby. He's legally an adult, but he's still a baby. But the way he can play basketball, you guys, throwing 3-point shots like it's nothing from half court consistently. It's unbelievable. So that was a fun thing to go to, right? That was such a fun thing to see and to watch them play. Now they're doing it really different too. Not a lot of tickets. So I mean, when we got food, we didn't have to stand in a long line. But the menu was like, here are your 3 or 4 options, and you get a drink. We have popcorn. Like that was it. You know, there were stands selling stuff, but no bathroom lines. It was nice, but it was weird because Michael and I sat in our seats, and then like 6 rows ahead of us, maybe halfway down, were like 4 people. So they had pumped in crowd noise along with the crowd. The crowd was cheering. It's just we weren't as much, we weren't a volume. So when the thing in the middle is going, let's go, Mavs, make some noise. And you're like, yay. Oh, but it was a fun time. It was a really fun time. God love them for still running the game to be as fun as it ever was. But yeah, it was a little different. So Mavericks and the Bucks. Congratulations, Mavs. Um, and then, of course, the grandest of all sportsing events, and one that I was so blessed to get to go to that I swear, as long as there's breath in my body, and the Lord shall tarry and allow me to go back to the Masters tournament. So, guys, it's Masters week. It is the Masters tournament. I think I have mentioned before my love for this event because never have I been to a sport event. And I've been to soccer games, I've been to hockey games, I've been to basketball games, I've been to baseball games, and I've been to football games. And they've all been great for varying reasons. And maybe if I was more of that kind of sports enthusiast, I'd probably like freak out. I've been to Fenway. I've been in the AT&T Stadium a couple of times for Dallas Cowboy games. Guys, the Masters is a completely different thing because the beauty of the course is a reflection of God's best in nature in that area. It was a former nursery. The plants, the trees, the way they keep, it was such a beautiful place to walk around. I really didn't care that I didn't know that much about what was going on. I was learning as I went, but God, what a place to walk and learn. So that's going on this week. Now, unfortunately, Tiger's not in. I picked some players, so I'm wearing my Masters shirt. I don't know if you can see it here in the camera. It's wearing my little Masters shirt and rooting for my team. I pulled some players together. Michael has a pool, a little thing that he does. So we all get to pick teams and, it's kind of fun. But to watch some of these players play, but the course itself is just beautiful. And it was one of the most well-run, well-organized, even though I had to be there all day event, gosh, it was like, it flew by so fast and you were having such a good time. And the grounds are so beautiful and the weather was perfect the week we went. How could you not enjoy? I mean, I got hit by a golf ball that was hit by Jason Day. It's just, I get to say that. And what a fun story that would make, right? So all of these great sportsing events were stories that happened in my week. Maybe yours is your kid's little league game. Maybe your kids are just starting back doing activities and sport activities. Maybe you've ventured out a little bit, or maybe you haven't and you're hunkering home and you're just staying at home watching great movies, watching TV, reading great books. I hope you're reading some great books because I have some book recommendations for you. But lastly, what happened this week was a little sad. For me, it was sad. I know for parts of the world it was sad. But Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth's husband, 2 weeks shy of his 100th birthday, passed away. So I'm going to try to get through this without getting too emotional. This cup right here is my cup that has the lineage of all of the kings, all the way up to Queen Elizabeth, a royal lineage in which she embodies. I think that the hardest thing for me, I have my own thoughts and feelings about Prince Philip, but they were married for 70 years. 70 years. 70 years. Some people can't even make it 5. 70 years. That's quite an achievement, especially living in the spotlight of the world, not just the United States, but the world. So, so I pause and take a moment to give honor to Prince Philip, the faithful companion of the Queen for nigh on 70 years, who did not accept a title and chose to be the companion to the Queen, realizing what that was going to involve for his protection of his grandsons when their mother died. He became highly, highly protective of those boys from the media once Diana died. Was he perfect? No. Did he have his own faults and gaffes and fumbles? Yes. Perhaps they were rooted in the fact that as a child, he and his family had to flee Greece because they were looking for the royal family to possibly kill them when war broke out there. And so he was fiercely protective of the monarchy because he knew how fragile it was and how easily it could be destroyed and lost. The Queen, to me, is a living treasure. We have treasures in art museums that we see. We have sculptures and things that we hold of high value. My tissues are over there. But she's a living historical treasure that we have. Yeah, I got to get a tissue, guys. What the heck? Ronnie, the percentage of marriages that last 60 years is too small to measure. So 70 years, what a glorious picture. Right. She's a timeless woman. You can't imagine how she's feeling right now. Yes. I mean, she is a definite marker of our generation, and not just one, but she spans so many generations. It has grieved me to see the hits that they have taken in the last years, especially in her final years. And so while I know that, the grieving that I do for Prince Philip, y'all, I'm going to have a period of mourning because like Pope John Paul II, he was the only Pope I ever really knew in my lifetime. And I'm not ancient, but I'm getting up there. I've lived long enough to see some things in history and time. So I was talking with a friend of mine in England, Savannah, Charlie Davis, who was going to send me some newspapers from overseas. And he said, this is the precursor to what their country is bracing for and what they know is going to happen eventually. We all know it. We think the Queen is immortal. So if you've ever been to London, I have fallen in love with London. Michael has taken me there 3 times. We hope to go back and to see the history, to see everything there, and to understand why England holds to their deep ties. Because other than the Holy Scriptures, what else is there on this earth to tie us together? Like the lineage that the Queen represents. And it comes with its bad stories too. There are those kinds of stories in the Bible too, but they are there to teach us how to have grace, to teach us the importance of love and how to endure. Oh, see, that was not in my show script here. Commence tears, snot up, and not be able to get through this part of the show. So, to Her Royal Majesty, we grieve with you. We love you. We pray for you. We support you. All right, guys. Whew. Let's talk about what's coming up, shall we? Let's talk about things that are ahead. Good things that are ahead. Whew. You love Charlie, I know. We do too. So, all right, guys, what's ahead? Normally next week would be tax season. However, by the graciousness of the government this time, they have extended the deadline to May 15th. With the pandemic, with the rollout of the vaccine and everything that's going, we have an extension to May 15th. So if you've been freaking out, you've been trying, I have been working, getting my stuff together for my accountant, who has been working so diligently to get all of my stuff together. I'm way ahead of the game on this one this year. I have felt like I've been scrambling the last two. So yes, so the tax deadline is extended to May 15th rather than April 15th. But if you've been in process of getting your documentation together, getting your stuff together, or maybe you've already just filed. But for those of you that are small business folks, you know that we have to get our quarterly, some of us, I have an annual report I have to have him send off. So all of those things that we need to do to keep ourselves in check, right? Getting those taxes done. So that at least is being extended to May 15th. But something I'm really excited about, that I get excited about every year, and I don't know if you how involved you are in this, but the Oscars are coming April 25th. So like in 2 weekends is the Oscars. So if you like to keep up with that, or you're interested in all of the movies, Michael and I have seen all of the Oscar nominated movies. Um, I got to tell you, it's a hard pick for me on some of these. I'll be talking about this the weekend in the broadcast, the day before the Oscars. I will be sharing my picks on my ballot. So I love to do this. If you like to do this, you can participate with me in the Oscar ballot challenge, because I want to know how much TV have you been watching? If you've been watching stuff at home, if you have been streaming a lot of these movies, you can rent them at home through your streaming services, right? A couple of them might be a little high. I know Renting the Father was $20. So if you're going to spend $20, go see it in a big theater if you can, if they're offering it in your area, okay? But it's definitely worth it. So I'm going to be giving some of my suggestions and tips about that. You'll see me post about it on the socials. I have some of my favorites. We're also watching, we like to go and watch the short films, the animated shorts, and then the documentary shorts. We also are watching the movies that may have may have been nominated for like Best Actor or Best Actress from those movies, but the movies themselves were not nominated, if that makes sense. So there's a couple of them like that, random, that are performances that they want to honor, but the movie or the director is not honored. So that was an interesting thing this year. And the fact that streaming services are now included in the Academy Awards. They are considered as eligible for entrance in this assessment for excellence, right, in film. So if you get into that, April 25th, right? Put it on your calendars. I'll be talking about it. And in my VIP group, I'm going to be sharing the Oscar ballot challenge with them to see how many people, if they watch movies or they like watching movies, want to fill out a ballot and watch it live with me online when the Oscars happen. And then we tally up and see how our votes were. So that'll be fun. Anyway, well, as always, that I like to do in these broadcasts, because I am a Hawaiian girl, because I have Hawaiian blood in me, you know that I like to teach you your olelo of the week, your Hawaiian word of the week, right? Something a little bit to share with you to help you learn a little Hawaiian language and understand what it means. And maybe it's just a way, a mnemonic device to help you remember what this means, so that maybe if it comes up in your week, you understand what that means. But your Hawaiian word for this week is kahea. Kahea means to call, to greet, or to invoke. And normally at this time of the year, the Merry Monarch Festival is going on. And unfortunately, because I'm going to lower my screen here, guys, so you can see me, because the words come up and then it's like, there's Renee. she's a little person. Kahea means to call, to call out, or to invoke. Okay. So if you notice that when hula dancers are dancing, you'll hear imuala ahead of time. So before the girls go to dance, imua, imuala, you'll hear a call go out before they start singing and dancing and doing the hula. Well, that is called the kahea, right? So in hula school, when we were trained, they would teach you the kahea, and that was a way for the dancers to know basically what part of the story they are, so they know what movements they are supposed to make. That's what the call is. The call calls ahead to prepare them for the movement they're about to make, right? The kahea. So if you think about that, you think about sometimes the call that God tries to make on our hearts or on our minds, especially in everyday situations where we're dealing with peoples and things. What is that call going out to us to represent and to be when we're dealing with people? And it's tough. And sometimes the call, or maybe the prompting, is to, don't punch them in the face, even though that's sometimes my response is I just want to flick you. However, we can't do that. And in this day where people are just so easily riled up and enraged, I mean, what is with all the shootings, guys? Come on. And don't get me started how it's in states where, carrying is okay. Where are the people that are carrying to protect the people from the nut jobs out there with the guns who are doing the shootings? I'm not going to get into that too deep. But the kahea, to call us. Sometimes it's the recital of the first lines of a stanza by the dancer to cue to the chanter. The chanter, the person who is chanting in the hula song, it's a call to recite, to give an invocation. It's also to give a military command or to summon. Sometimes it's a call that's an alarm. Hey, heads up. So look for those promptings and those little calls, the kahea, that happens to you this week. See if you can identify them. See if you can respond to them. And also make sure that it's something that is true. Because during book club this week, so again, I'm going to get into talking about this book because one, I think it's been a huge game changer. I'm a big fan of Jon Acuff and his work. I know Jon and Jenny. I've known Jon now for 8 years. Have been, following along on his progress as a writer and as an entrepreneur since 2012. It's going on 9 years now. And so this is the fourth book launch that I've been involved with Jon. I usually get asked to be a part of these in advance, so it's kind of fun. But this book is a complete game changer. And what he's talking about are the soundtracks that are wired into our head and that we put there that are played over and over, that kahea, that call. What are the soundtracks that are calling out to us all day long, that go in our head? Oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, I'm never going to be able to learn this. I can't get that job interview. I'm never going to finish, this project. Oh, I'm always going to be a mom at home. I'm never going to be able to go to work again. Interesting how those thoughts always include words of absolutes like never, always. I like to call them the extremes in language. But yeah, this book is pretty amazing. And so for me, he likens the thought processes of our brain as music soundtracks. So he starts in the first chapter talking about some of the songs that we love. if you think of a song of your life, maybe your childhood, a favorite song that every time it comes on and you hear it or you stream it on your playlist or you're out somewhere and you hear this song, man, it pops you back to the place, the memory, you start dancing, and it's important to you. Those are called soundtracks. Those are those are bites that your brain stores of great memories with great people, the place. There's sometimes a song that's associated with that or a sound, and those are the soundtracks of our life, right? Well, some of them can also be negative soundtracks, like, well, oh, you're stupid, or you're just like your father. Oh my God, why will you, why are you so fat? Aren't you going to? All of those negative soundtracks also play in our head. So, which one controls? So, one quote in chapter 2, because John talks about, determining whether your soundtracks are positive or negative and which ones we should listen to. He said to ask them 3 questions. And so the first one is it true? When those negative thoughts come up in your head, is it true? Oh, I'm never going to learn this. Is that really true? Are you unable to learn? I can't. My students just say, oh, Miss Renee, I can't read it. No, you won't read it. See, you can read because I know you can read, because if I were to hand you something, you could tell me that you can read. You're just choosing not to. That's different. And you won't read. Therefore, you don't understand why you got a 65 on your morning quiz over the reading that you were supposed to do. It's simple. So when those soundtracks happen, I love this. Show it here, big on the screen. One of the greatest mistakes you can make in life is assuming all your thoughts are true. Well, I'm just going to close the book and sit on that one for, about 3 days. One of the greatest mistakes, I love how greatest mistakes is in capital, big, bold letters. One of the greatest mistakes you can make in life is assuming that all your thoughts are true. How about that? That starts unraveling some stuff, doesn't it? So anyway, soundtracks. It's a great, great, great book. We're doing it in my VIP book club. If you're interested in it, I'll give you contact info at the end of this broadcast where you can find out more about it. But if you want to start the book, we just started reading chapters 1 through 3 this week. We're going to discuss them on Tuesday. Those of you that are watching the VIP club, check. I posted a schedule on the dates of where we're going to have our Zoom calls for discussions. It's going to be great. So I hope you can join us. Yeah, Savannah's got a soundtrack. She said, California Girls, Katy Perry, always makes me think of our trip to LA. Well, yes, because when we were driving down the Pacific Coast Highway, after we left the airport, we went to LA, and that song by Katy Perry that year was a hit. It was released in the summertime, and it became the soundtrack of our trip. And it's memorable. It's a memorable trip for my daughter and me, because we did so many fun things, and that song was was playing in the background all the time. We sang it in the car while we were driving down to PCH. Remember, Savannah? It was such a blast. So the soundtracks of your life, how to replace those negative ones with positive ones. It's called overthinking, by the way. The tagline on the book, it says the surprising solution to overthinking. So if you're overthinking that you need to get this book or not, you need to get this book. That was a quote from Jim Gaffigan. Are you an overthinker? Well, if you have to think about that for a minute, you need to get this book. And you do. So if that ever has been a problem for you, if you've been an overthinker and assumed all of these things out 20, I love one line John says, did I need to have 3,154 thoughts about if there was going to be any parking at this new restaurant we were going to? You ever done that? Why do they happen in the car? Why do those moments happen in the car? They always happen in the car. So get a copy of that. There's also another book. There's 2 other books that I want to recommend. One is out. It came out this week. The other one is from a music guy who you may know that is coming out in October, right before my birthday. So anyway, a couple of books that I want to share with you, but one is called, let me get this up on my screen. so you can see it. And I'll tell you a little bit about the book. Uh, Come on, computer, where are you? Where'd it go? There it is. All right. Made sure that the picture pulled up on screen so you could see it. And I'm going to share it. There we go. And I can show it in the stream now. You guys know what a lover of history I am. I love, love, love history. And of course, for us, because World War II happened within this past generation, we're somehow, interested in it, but the scale of it and what it was and how much it changed our world is truly remarkable. So this book came out this week. It's called The Light of Days, The Untold Story of Women Resistance Fighters in Hitler's Ghetto by Judy Battalion. She is the great-granddaughter of, she's the granddaughter of Polish Holocaust survivors, and takes us back to 1939 and introduces us to Rania Kukielka, a weapons smuggler and messenger who risked death traveling across occupied Poland on foot and by train. This is similar to that book, Madame Fourcade's War. Madame Fourcade, who was the French resistance fighter during World War II. So that's another great book. But this one, joining Rania, are other women who served as couriers, armed fighters, intelligence agents, and saboteurs, all who put their lives in mortal danger to carry out their missions. Battalion follows these women through the savage destructions of the ghettos, arrest and internment in Gestapo prisons and concentration camps, and for a lucky few, like Rania, who orchestrated her own audacious escape from a brutal Nazi jail into the late 20th century and beyond. There are 20 black and white photographs included in this book. And this book, the story idea and rights have been optioned by Steven Spielberg for a movie adaptation of this story. So I'm completely excited about this book. Really want to dive into it. So if you're interested in that kind of genre, if you love nonfiction, especially around World War II, but because these are women, I love hearing the stories of the women. They're always stories of the men and the great men who fought in the battle. But we have to realize that there were some really bold, audacious, strong, and brave women who were also vital to the breaking of the Nazi Reich alliance. So really interesting. Hope you will get a copy of that and check it out. Check it out. Another one that I want to recommend, and then, like I said, it is coming out in the fall. Did I grab a copy of this? Where is it here? No, I did not. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, hold on. Let me pull this up on the screen. I'll just get the Amazon listing for it. Oh, come on. Sorry about this, guys. Usually I'm a little better prepared. I did do that. I did have it. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, guys, this is so embarrassing. Sorry. Let me get the listing here. I thought I had it pulled up on my screen, and I did not. And that's because he's doing this a little differently. And I appreciate this about him. So how many of you are Foo Fighters fans? Are you guys fans of Foo Fighters? Well, Dave Grohl, here, let me share my screen here so you can see it. Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters has a new book coming out. And when I say new book, I don't just mean like new book publisher. No, Dave Grohl did not, and he even said in his book thing, he said, normally they sign someone like me to do the story. They hire ghostwriters. Somebody writes it. They interview you for like several days. Somebody writes it, and then they hand it to you and say, here's your story. He didn't want to do it that way. He did not want to do it that way. Here we go. I'll show this to you here. And what I love about it, let me see if I can get this bigger for you guys on the screen so you can see it. see, how does that look for you guys? Is that a little bigger? There you go. Yeah, you can see it now. So his book is called The Storyteller. And Dave Grohl is writing this himself. He's been writing this himself. So he even said, having entertained the idea for years and even offered a few questionable opportunities. And he has in parentheses, it's a piece of cake. Just do 4 hours of interviews, find someone else to write it, put your face on the cover, and voila. I have decided to write these stories just as I have always done, in my own hand. The joy that I have felt from chronicling these tales is not unlike listening back to a song that I've recorded and can't wait to share with the world, or reading a primitive journal entry from a stained notebook, or even hearing my voice bounce between the KISS posters on my wall as a child. This certainly doesn't mean that I'm quitting my day job, but it does give me a place to shed a little light on what it's like to be a kid from Springfield, Virginia, walking through life while living out the crazy dreams I had as a young musician. From hitting the road with Scream at 18 years old, to my time in Nirvana and the Foo Fighters, jamming with Iggy Pop, or playing at the Academy Awards, or dancing with AC/DC and the Preservation Hall Jazz Band, drumming for Tom Petty, or meeting Sir Paul McCartney at Royal Albert Hall, bedtime stories with Joan Jett, or a chance meeting with Little Richard, to flying halfway around the world for one epic night with my daughters. The list goes on. I look forward to focusing the lens through which I see these memories a little sharper for you with much excitement. Man, if that doesn't make you want to jump on and pre-order the book now, Dave Grohl, The Storyteller. The stories that he has collected over his lifetime of the experiences he has had doing the things that he's done in his life. So if you have a Foo Fighters fan, ooh, I like that alliteration, Foo Fighters fan. If you like the Foo Fighters, if you know someone who likes the Foo Fighters and they have a birthday coming up, or if you want to pre-order it for Christmas, right? Doesn't that sound like an interesting read? I think it sounds great, Savannah. It's coming out the week before my birthday. I'm planning to pre-order a copy, sweetie, so I'll let you read it afterwards. And let me know if you like the audiobook or the print book, because I have some audiobook credits too. And what I love about getting audiobooks, guys, is when the author can read the book, or if you want to read the book and listen to their voice read it to you, that's always a great way to consume creative content, right? So lots of great book ideas, lots of stories going on, not just in their lives, but in our lives. What kind of stories are you going to have going on this week? My friend Ronnie Rock is speaking at a summit this weekend. Stories, telling stories and encouraging others to tell their stories. So if you want to know more about telling your story, if you want to help have a place where you can work on your writing. I've had a couple of projects I've had to sort of put on pause because of this book launch happening. Now that that's done, I can pick those back up and get back to work on those. I love helping people tell their stories and helping people learn about how they can get their stories collected. It just starts with you looking back at what happens. Guys, if you are posting on social media, use your social media posts as a way to remind yourself of the stories that are happening in your life. I know that there are stories going on in your life. If they're happening for me, I know they can be happening for you. Yes, about yes, Ronnie's going to be sharing stories about God's design, about how he crafts us so beautifully, the beauty that is within all of us, that kahea, that call, that invocation to action, to share that little piece of him that's inside of us with everybody out there. And that's what I try to do when I'm on these live streams. I try to share a little bit about me, what's going on in my life, the stories that are happening in the week, and looking ahead to some of the things that are coming. Guys, we're going to be smack dab in the middle of April next week. 2 weeks from then is the beginning of May. I've been planting some flowers, and I also have a duck update, but I'll be sharing that on my socials. So you'll have to check me out there. So you can find me on the socials at Renee Harden. And also you can contact me right here. You can just send me a note. Let me know, how can I help you? Do you need some help with your writing? Do you want to find out more about being added to the VIP book club where we read great books and then we discuss them on Zoom with wine or coffee or tea or whatever we want to drink. But we have those discussions. So if you want to be a part of that, go to my page here at RoneHarden.com/contact. You can click the box for Through the Pages Book Club. Let me know that you would like to be a part of that group. You're still in time to read. There's no pressure. You can jump on in and catch up with the reading as you can. Or if you need some help with your writing and you just want to find out how to get started. Maybe you need help with your students, with their language arts. If you're nervous about where they are and how they're being affected by the pandemic, if you want to see where they are, or maybe even spur on their own creative writing. Or maybe, just maybe, dip your toes in the pool of creative writing. Whichever way you want to go, just let me know how I can help. And you can always, always catch any of the replays and broadcasts that I've done here on my YouTube channel. So, that's our show for today, guys. I hope you are going to get out there and make it a great one. Ronnie, blessings and love to you for speaking at the summit. I'm going to try to pop in and catch as much as I can today while I've got my stuff going on. And let me know what time you're speaking. Shoot me a text and let me know what time you're scheduled to speak because I don't want to miss that. Hello to Carol. Hello, my dear. Love being read to. Your grandmother used to always read to you too. Yes, yes. Yes, thank you, Bear. You highly recommend joining the book club. Join a fun community, get into some great discussion. Yes, that's what we're there for. We like to help each other and also support each other and pray for each other when the moment, when the kahea comes and we are asked to rise up and support each other, right? With much aloha. Okay, guys. I'm going to get about my day. I know you are too. Have a wonderful, fabulous weekend. Spend some time with the Lord tomorrow. Make sure that you are resting. Make sure you're hydrating. Make sure you're having coffee. Make sure you have a glass of wine. Whatever it is that you like to do. And also, thank you for being here while I had a tearful moment. Because the Lord knows there are those moments in our life too. The parts that make our stories real. The parts that show how much love we have for each other. So I love the fact that you were here with me this morning. Thanks for taking the time. Those who've been here the whole time, I have much aloha for you. Those that are watching via replay, thanks for taking the time to come back. I hope this has been fun. I'll be dropping links in the comment thread to the books, where you can get them and where you can pre-order a copy of Dave Gold's book and also get a copy of John Acuff's soundtracks and Judy Battalion's The Last Days. So, The Light of Days. I'm sorry, The Light of Days. Anyway, have a great one, guys. I'll see you back here next Saturday where we'll sit down and have more coffee and catch up on our stories. I can't wait to hear yours. Take care. I'll see you then.